Go live stream. We recently changed our name to Letting Go University from release to results. If you guys are confused about that, to really bring the context of what we're doing here, this is a practice of higher being. And as you practice this, you will come to an experience of that higher being that you are. And today we're on lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. This is a powerful lesson. Dr. David R. Hawkins, he wrote the book Healing and Recovery, which I highly recommend if you are going through any sort of pain or struggle or addiction. And he puts in modern, very, very wise psychiatrist languaging these concepts, makes them less esoteric and put more like scientific. So if you have a tendency to prefer some kind of languaging like that, Healing and Recovery might be a really good book. We also use the books Transcending the Levels of Consciousness, Stairway to Enlightenment, and Letting Go, the Pathway of Surrender as kind of the basis for what we do in Letting Go University. In addition to what we're doing in these releases is a Sedona Method style release, Sedona Method by Hale, Dwoskin, Lester Levinson's protege. That's this technique that we're using in these sessions for letting go. So I choose the joy of God instead of pain. The body actually can't feel anything except what you command it to feel. You know, you're so powerful. The world, there's so many lessons that have been working up to this. So like, actually my mind causes what's happening in the world. My mind is actually the cause. People have it flipped. They think the world is doing things to them, but you, having the complete power of God shared with you, you actually have 100% influence here. And this is what this lesson is really getting to, a practice of what we've been taught. So what this lesson says is my thoughts alone that are causing pain. And I point here for thoughts, but that's not really where they are. They're not in the head. The thoughts are just there. And the thoughts that I'm thinking are on frequencies. And now there's these lower frequencies. Where is it here? There's these lower frequencies of negativity, which the Course says are not even real. And each one of these is an attractor field that has certain kinds of thoughts that go with it. They're not your thoughts. They're not anyone else's thoughts. These are the thoughts anybody who's passing through one of these attractor fields will witness. That's where the thoughts of pain are. That's where the thoughts of suffering are. That's where the thoughts of fear are. And so as we let go of these emotions, we come to have an experience of what's actually here, the top of this map of consciousness. This map is available in all of Dr. Hawkins' books. And so it's my thoughts alone that are causing pain. The mind is far more powerful than the body. The body just kind of is. It does whatever we think about. And you'll find this to be true. Does your body do things that you don't think about? You'll find it every time. What you think about happens in the body. So what this lesson says is it's just your thoughts that are causing you pain. Nothing externally has the cause, can cause you to hurt. I create the accidents. I create the injuries. I create the pain. When we've released a lot of guilt, this concept of sin, you'll find that pain just dissolves, just goes away. Now, again, this is not intended to treat, diagnose, or prevent any disease. But try it out and see. I've seen people release a whole lot of bodily things, and you can too. If you can release these feelings that have you thinking these thoughts that are causing you pain, you'll have a wonderful experience. You'll discover that it's no longer necessary to cause yourself pain. The world you see does nothing, this lesson says. It has no effects at all. It merely represents your thoughts. The world merely represents your thoughts. Oh my gosh. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. I'm going to release the thoughts of pain and suffering, and I'm going to choose the joy of God. And now, with those new thoughts, the world will represent that. That new attractor field, the world will represent that. You guys are so powerful. You guys are so loved. You are but the love of God. All this negativity is just suppressing that. It's there when we buy into these ideas that we're bad or wrong or guilty or sinful. We put those out into the world. We have those effects on the body, and it hurts. It hurts, but it's not real. None of that is what you are. And so we have an opportunity to release it today. It's going to take owning responsibility. It's going to take coming into courage to allow yourself to just acknowledge, maybe I am making myself hurt. Maybe I am attempting to punish myself. And I can let go of that and choose the joy of God instead. This is very scientific. Again, if you want more information about this, you can check out Healing and Recovery by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And you can also just read this book, which the Course in Miracles workbook or the Course in Miracles textbook. All of this is explained in extreme detail in these books again and again and again, because I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, what? The whole way I've been living in the world isn't true? Yeah. And that's okay, because we can just release it. We can let go of the world we thought, the world we were seeking before, and choose the joy of God instead of pain. So let's do some releasing. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Pain is a wrong perspective, self-deception. Nothing out there has the power to cause you pain. You have all the power. Your mind is extremely powerful. So is there any thoughts of pain you have been dwelling with, holding in mind? And what's behind that? Behind most pain, you may find guilt. You may find that there's something I need to punish myself for. So if you've been experiencing any pain, you can ask yourself, what have I been attempting to punish myself for? Where have I been holding in mind thoughts of pain? And could you just allow that energy to come up for releasing? How does that feel when you're having those thoughts of bad me, wrong me, I messed up? It might not be from this lifetime. So could you just allow yourself to feel that feeling? I've experienced people who were strangled, who had their heads cut off, and they were still carrying the guilt from those situations. So really, it's not necessary to consciously know what you feel like you're punishing yourself for. You could just allow yourself to feel this feeling that would have you thinking thoughts of pain or punishing yourself. And could you allow that feeling, open up to it, bringing to light the darkness, just by letting yourself feel a feeling? And could you just let that feeling run for a moment? Just a feeling, ignoring the thoughts, letting them scroll by without clicking subscribe on them. Could you just allow yourself to feel this feeling more? Let it run out, let it dissipate. And could you let go of the thoughts of pain or the guilt or the self-punishment? Could you let go of that feeling? Would you let go When could you let go of the thoughts of pain, self-punishment, and choose the joy of God instead? No rush. It takes what it takes. And if there's more of this feeling, could you just let it run so it can run out? I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Where have I been punishing myself, thinking thoughts of weakness, of suffering, of pain? And it's okay. I knew not what I did. How does it feel to punish oneself with pain? Or some kind of crazy imagination that it's a good idea that I need to punish myself for something. And it may not be conscious, and it may not even be of this life. Could you allow yourself to feel that feeling behind pain, self-deception, self-recrimination? Could you feel that feeling? It might be called guilt. Not necessary to name it, though. Could you feel it? And could you even welcome this feeling? When we resist these feelings, it's like we make them real. Could you just welcome this feeling to move? Just let it be just a feeling and bring it to light. Nothing to hide from, nothing to modify or change, just a feeling. Could you bring it up? Could you feel it? Or just let it be where it is and feel it there. And could you release the thoughts of pain and self-punishment, this feeling of guilt or whatever it is? Just could you release it? Would you release it? When could you release and choose the joy of God instead of pain? Let punishing oneself be unnecessary, insane, no longer done. It's just a wrong perspective. Could you release it? I choose the joy of God instead of pain, and it is my thoughts alone that cause me pain. There is no cause beyond myself that can reach down and bring oppression, bring pain, bring suffering. For that would attest to and claim a cruel God, and there's no cruelty in God. And there's really none in me. Could you notice this feeling behind the thoughts of suffering and pain? If there is any. Oh, maybe guilt could be mixed with fear and could be just a feeling. Could you let it be just a feeling and let the thoughts head on by without chasing them and just drop into this feeling? Whatever the feeling is, wherever it seems to be dwelling in your field, could you let it come to the light of your awareness that this darkness may be dissolved? Just bringing this feeling up, letting this feeling be there, letting it run, staying with it. And could you allow yourself to just surrender this feeling, turn it over, give it up? Maybe it stays, maybe it goes. Would you allow surrendering to occur. Just giving up the thoughts of pain, the feelings behind those thoughts, just surrendering them, turning them over. Oh, this is not me. I surrender it to thee. When could you make a decision to choose the joy of God instead of pain and just surrender this feeling of pain? Just turn it over. And it takes what it takes. We've been told sin isn't real. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. The Course has told us again and again that sin is not real. Your thoughts are very powerful. What purpose is there to dwell in thoughts of sin and guilt and self-punishment? There is none. It doesn't exist. So to choose the joy of God instead of pain, could you allow yourself to just notice if there's anywhere you're still valuing some concept of you need to punish yourself for something? Is there anywhere that you are insisting that you're bad or wrong? And it might not be conscious. There might even not even be anything you did in this lifetime. There's still some sense like, ooh, I, I need to beat myself up about something. I need to choose pain. And it's okay, rather than stacking more guilt on it. Oh, and now I'm wrong again, bad again. What if it was just a feeling? Could you allow that feeling up? Bring it to light, bring it to love, and just allow yourself to feel that feeling. Just let that feeling run. Let it run out. Remember, resisting these feelings claims they're real because you just allow the feeling to move. And just letting it dissipate, letting it go. Maybe it goes a little bit. Maybe it goes a lot. Could you just keep letting it go? Would you let it go? You don't have to. Some people really insist that punishment is necessary. Could you let go of that? When could you let go of this feeling and choose the joy of God instead of pain? There's no rush. No, it's just a choice between illusions and truth. Choosing the joy of God instead of pain is just a choice. Now, when you make a choice for the joy of God, it will bring up anything other than that to be surrendered, released, and let go of. So, could you let that happen? Could you let anything other than the joy of God come up as you choose it? As you choose the joy of God, anything that would interfere with that coming up to be enlightened, to be lightened in the truth of the joy of God. So, what's it like to choose the joy of God? Okay, I'm no longer going to proclaim that God is cruel and wants to punish people. I'm no longer going to claim that my Father hates me, that God the Father hates the Son of God. I'm going to choose love, the joy of God instead of pain. Could you choose a loving Father? Could you choose a loving God? Could you choose the joy of God? And just notice, it's so interesting when we make that choice, anything other than that, any resistance to that, refusal of it might come up. Thoughts of whatever, doesn't matter. Could you notice any feeling other than the joy of God? Any resisting the joy of God, making that choice? And could you allow that up? Oh, that doesn't feel like joy. Well, could you let it up? If you resist it, it claims it's real. Could you just feel this feeling? Let it move, let it run. It's interesting. I had a pain come up just now. Ooh, could I allow that feeling up? Rather than fighting it, stuffing it down, could I let that feeling come up and move? Would I fight it and make it real, or could I let this resistance just come up, let it move, let it dissolve, let it be enlightened? Ooh, even if it feels uncomfortable. And could I let it go? Would I let it go? Would you let it go? Hmm. And continue to choose the joy of God? Just surrendering anything other than that? Letting go of anything other than that? When could you let go of this feeling other than the joy of God? One can be let go of, one is always there. And so, could you choose the joy of God? Could you make the only choice that can ever really be made? It's either a choice in truth or a choice in illusion, a choice in pain or a choice in joy, a choice in hell or a choice in heaven. Could you allow yourself to be free to choose joy instead of pain? Could you choose the joy of God instead of pain? I want to, I really do. But then this feeling of pain comes up. This feeling other than joy comes up. Oh, could you release it? It's coming up. It's not you. It's coming up to be released. Could you allow it to come up? Anything other than this joy. I've got a feeling coming up right now. Whatever's coming up for you right now, could you open to it? Rather than fighting it, defending against it, and claiming it's real, could you just surrender? Be releasing this feeling, letting it come up, letting it move. Oh, maybe it's just a feeling. Could you ignore the thoughts and just allow the feeling to be releasing? It will release on its own if you let it. Nothing to fight, claim it's real, claim it can do anything to me. Just a feeling, oh, yeah, I may not prefer this feeling, but I'll let it run because it will run out. Just allowing this feeling that would come up. It's not me. It's not the choice I make. This feeling is not what I choose. I'm just going to release it. Could you just release this feeling that's other than the joy of God and let it come up and let it move? Ooh, do I need to fight this or could I just release? Are you fighting the feeling, or are you just releasing the feeling, letting it leave? Could you release anything that came up other than the joy of God? Maybe later. No way. Or yeah. Remembering it's always just a choice. Would you release whatever is other than the joy of God that doesn't exist? Just allow it to release. Mm. When could you allow it to release and continue choosing the joy of God and releasing anything other than that? Mm. And well done releasing. Now, I've got a feeling that came up here, and it seems to hurt. And so I'm just going to keep letting this feeling run, keep releasing it, because I choose the joy of God instead of pain. So feel free to join me in just allowing any feeling that came up, any anti your choice of the joy of God, to just come up and let it release. It might take a minute. It might take 5 minutes, it might take an hour, it might take a few hours. But if I resist it, it's going to take a lot longer. I could stuff it and deal with it later. And so could you. Could you just allow this feeling, anything other than the joy of God that surfaces today, to be released so that you can be in the joy of God without these clouds of darkness? Thanks so much for joining us today. Keep on releasing if you will. I'm going to keep on releasing right now. Let this feeling go. Have the best day you can. Your thoughts become the world. Your thoughts go into the world. Could you release the energy behind thoughts of pain and suffering and choose the joy of God and fill the world with those thoughts today? Thank you so much.